Also, financial freedom also definitely is a form of freedom. Yeah, free to buy what you want. Anyone else have any last second ones? Brandon, Mariana. What does freedom look like to you? What does freedom mean? How does it feel?
There's a sense of relief when you have freedom.
Sure. So relief, yeah, similar to what Kaylee was saying, like stress off your shoulders, right? Breath of fresh air, mental clarity. Awesome. So let's talk about a couple things. I want you to jot this down. Jot down the three pillars of freedom. Go ahead and jot down the three pillars of freedom. Okay. Because here's the thing. Here's the thing. Freedom comes with a cost. Right? We know this. Right? All the people that you see that are living luxurious lives, right? They didn't just pop out like that. The entrepreneurs that you see, the entrepreneurs that you see that are living those free lives where they can buy what they want, do what they want with their time. It wasn't always like that. So it comes with a price. So these are the three pillars of freedom. The first one is discipline. Jot down discipline. This is where something becomes who you are, not what you do. Okay. So are you trying to do discipline or are you trying to be someone who is disciplined? And there is a big difference there. There's a big difference between becoming someone who is disciplined versus trying to do discipline, right? Because we've seen, and I'll give you an example of this. We've seen people try to do discipline, right? We've seen fad diets, right? We've seen the person that tried keto, right? And then the next week they were like eating a calzone, right? We've seen it all, right? We've seen people try to do discipline, right? We see it every single year around New Year's, right? I remember when I went to the ARC, the Activities Recreation Center, the gym at the U of I, right? Every time I came back from winter break, right? It's right after New Year's. You had to wait in line for every single machine. So like we've seen people try to do discipline, then we've seen people who are disciplined. So the first step to freedom is discipline. It's when your external wants become your internal desires. Your external wants become internal desires. So doing what you want over what you have to do makes you feel shittier. Right? Doing what you want in the moment, being guided by feelings in the moment versus being guided by being decisive is going to lead you to a shittier state. And doing what you want in the moment versus doing what you know you have to do in the long term is not going to give you more freedom. It's going to feel more like imprisonment. And we've felt this before, right? Where you know that you have that essay to write, what you have that final to study for, but you fall into like, oh, I don't feel like it right now. I'm going to put it off, and I'm just going to relax and watch Netflix. Now, while you're relaxing, all that's on your mind is the stress about having to do what you have to get done. We felt that before, yes. When we've chosen to do something that we want to do over what we know we have to get done. And then you just feel more imprisoned, even though in the moment you're thinking, hey, I'm doing what makes me feel more free. It's not the actual case. In other words, you're extending your sentence by doing that. Half-assing two, three, four things, like it might feel like freedom in the moment, but it's just extending your imprisonment. So always choose to follow through over feeling guilty. Always choose to follow through over feeling guilty. And that's what discipline is about. So that's the first pillar is discipline, because true inner freedom comes from integrity. It comes from integrity towards yourself. That's what we're all about here. You guys know this. You've heard your managers say this a ton of times. We want to hold you accountable to your goals. But you can't want your goals more than we want your goals. Or sorry, we can't want your goals more than you want your own goals. So have that integrity to say, hey, this is what I said I'm going after, and then chase it. That's what Lindley was saying. Don't chase the bare minimum. Chase that goal. That goal number is what we should be striving for. That's what freedom comes from, is discipline. The second one, jot down great routines. Second pillar of freedom is great routines. Any area where you don't feel great goes back to routines. Any area that you don't feel free in, that you don't feel good in, it goes back to routines. So your energy, it's all about your routines. It's all about your routines. So let's talk about energy, right? If you're feeling low energy, what are your routines surrounding your diet? What are your routines surrounding exercise? What are your routines surrounding sleep? When you're doing things consistently, you start to feel and you start to be different. You start to feel different. And this is something that I'm feeling right now. I'm 2 weeks into a holistic health challenge. Right? It's not just about getting in the gym. It's also about reading. It's also about getting enough sleep, journaling, being hydrated. All of these are different aspects of this challenge. 2 weeks ago, I remember I have it in my journal. I read it over. 2 weeks ago, I was feeling really crappy about my state. I felt like I wasn't learning. I felt like I didn't care to be in the gym. I felt like I didn't feel good about how I looked. It took 2 weeks. It took 2 weeks of routines to completely flip that. So, what are your routines? And there's a very simple self-confidence formula. Get clear on what you want and picture yourself as that person. I want you to do that for a second. Picture yourself as that person. So what do you want? How do you want to feel? Right? Whether that's financially, whether that's physically, mentally, how do you want to feel? What is that person doing? And you can also take from the past too. You can also take from the past. So when I've been at my best, what was I doing? Because there's things that we've all stopped doing from when we were feeling at our best. I know right now, because of this challenge, it's 75 full days. I know probably like day 90, I will have lost like a couple of those things. And I know I'll look back to these routines, say, hey, when I was feeling my best, when I felt like I was learning and growing personally, professionally, physically, mentally, here's what I was doing. So you can look to the past too. When I was feeling my best, what was I doing? And I could take a couple quick shares. I'd love to hear, because I'm sure that there's something that people can take from this. When you were at your best, what were you doing? Or I picture myself as this. What is that person doing? Kaylee.
This is just super quick, but I noticed when I was at my best, I would wake up in the morning and start my day rather than waking up in the morning, laying in bed for a little bit, scrolling for a little bit, getting that extra me time. But getting up and getting straight active and with my day, I felt way more productive, way more in control, and I just feel like I got way more done.
Love it. So getting your day going, right? A lot of people, they lay in bed and they just kind of roll out of it. And then guess what? The rest of their the rest of their day follows that energy curve. Something that Jacob always says is, first thing in the morning, seek movement, sunlight, and water. First thing in the morning, seek movement, seek sunlight, seek water. Because guess what? If your energy is feeling down and your routines don't reflect gaining energy through the day, your energy is going to continue to feel down. And on the other end, if you choose to make the change, your energy is going to reflect that too. I just want you to all be aware, whatever you don't change, you choose. Whatever in your life you're not changing, you're choosing. If you know your sleep is not good and you're not actively working to change it, you're choosing. You are choosing bad sleep. And guess what? The effects of bad sleep, do they just end when you wake up? No, it's throughout the day, it's throughout the week. It compounds. So focus your decisions and your feelings based on who you are becoming, not based on who you are or who you've been. Because guess what? If we continue making the same decisions that we've made to get here, you're going to stay here. There are different decisions that lead someone to becoming a 6-figure business owner to a 7, 8, 9-figure business owner. And then the last pillar is consistency. The last pillar is consistency because consistency compounds. I was telling Jacob when we structured the challenge, I remember telling him at school, I felt like I was in a much better headspace, both like with my mental health, my physical health. I had a whiteboard on my wall. That had all the daily actions that I needed to meet. And guess what? When I was at my best, like 2/3 of them were done within my first hour of waking up. That's when I had my best days. And I fell away from that. But now it's all about consistency. Tomorrow can be the start of a streak. That's also what I loved about structuring this challenge is we wrote it on the board and we said, awesome, we start tomorrow. Lindley was very stressed out when we said that. But now she's been physically active for 2 weeks straight, has drank a gallon for 2 weeks straight, has already finished a book and is like, what, 30, 40 pages into the next one. Peed more than ever. Yeah. They told me my bladder would adapt. It didn't. It has not. Yeah, I'm glad that that I had like great trainees in front of me this week because I had to leave the room so many times. But tomorrow can be the start of a streak. Okay? Emotional freedom, focus freedom, okay? Fun and like friendship freedom. You create your schedule. You have the freedom to have fun. Schedule your fun time. Because guess what? I know that when I scheduled my fun time or my friend like hanging out with friends, I knew that, hey, this is me maximizing my schedule. This is how I know I'm going to feel best because I'm still getting everything else done. Because when you have all your work and your priorities scheduled, you know that hanging out with friends is not you slacking off in another area. Because I know I had that guilt a lot. I would have that guilt a lot where I like would try to hang out with friends, but I know that I was putting something else off. Schedule your priorities. That's true freedom, right? Financial freedom. How much are you putting into your savings this week? And it should be routine and it should be consistent every single week. How much am I saving? Fitness freedom. How many times am I in the gym this week? How many times am I getting active this week? That was also a limiting belief of mine, was that to get active, I have to be in the gym. It's just not true. It's not true, because I know that was a big change from like being at school to being here. It was at school, I had a gym downstairs, and then I had a really nice gym, like a 15-minute walk away. And whenever I wanted, I could be in a gym. And then when I got home, I was like, oh man, I can't make it to the gym. I can't get active today. Little actions compound. Little actions compound. Even if it's 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, you can do it at home. Get active. Getting active and being physically fit is one of the best things that you can do for your mental health. Family freedom. I know this is something that I struggled with. I felt like sometimes I felt like I didn't have rapport with my older brother. And so what does that look like? Family freedom. What does that look like? Faith freedom. That doesn't have to be religious. Spirituality doesn't have to be religious. Faith in yourself is extremely important. Integrity with yourself. So when I'm talking about freedom, I'm talking about you choosing and painting your life. How am I going to structure my life? And start there. Start there. What is the beautiful vision that you have for yourself? And work backwards. I want to live in this kind of home with these kinds of things in it, with this much land, with spouse, kids, whatever you picture. What kind of person do you have to be to earn that? Because we all we kind of know what kind of person we want to marry, right? Not a shitbag, right? So right now, are you the kind of person that is going to attract that dream person? That's freedom. Discipline, great routines, and consistency. Awesome. All right. I have one last thing for you guys. I'm so excited for this. Okay. Oh, here. Could I please, since you kicked me out, I wasn't co-host. All right. Yes, I will. Yeah, just because of time. I'm going to do shares in a second. But right here, you guys remember the November challenge? Yeah, awesome. So level 1 order per week, free ice cream scoop. Oh, yeah. Level 2 is at 2K for the month of November. You get some Cutco swag. All right. So you can choose polo, water bottle, backpack. You can have a knife roll up for your demos. Level 3 at 3K, we're going to take a trip to Topgolf. It'll be on me for anyone that does 3K in November. Level 4 is at 5K. Free fisherman solution. Oh, yeah. And then level 5 is at 7.5K for the month. You get a free outdoor knife. So you get free either a clip point, drop point, or a gut hook. And then level 6 is at 10K for the month. 10K for the month. You get dinner with your district manager. All right. I have a fun kicker announcement. Go ahead and keep your notes open. For the next 2 tab weeks. So starting tomorrow, November 5th, until November 18th. November 5th to November 18th. You guys get double credit towards the November challenges. Okay, so let's say in the next 2 weeks, you sell 3K, that's like 6K towards the November contest. Woo! Look at that. I am feeling giving. I am feeling very, very giving. So these next 2 weeks, these next two tab weeks are double credit towards the November contest. And here, I'm going to like be brutally honest. Here's why. Our November tab weeks, okay, so the month of November, as far as management goes, ends on November 18th. So we have 2 more weeks of our November tabs, meaning that our company December starts on November 19th. All of your managers are in a competition to earn President's Banquet. Okay, that is for the elite office managers in the fall campaign. November, we get double credit for all new business CPO. Okay, meaning that if you place $1,000, that counts like 2,000 for the office for President's Banquet qualifications. Okay, so in the spirit of double credit November, we are doing double credit for your November challenge to help us qualify our office to be there with the elites at President's Banquet. So I want to say thank you to you guys preemptively, even if you only do $1,000 a week for the next couple of weeks. It's very much appreciated. I love working with you guys, and I would love to get a couple of shares before we close out here. Kaylee, you can go last. Let's get other shares.
I really like that. Whatever you don't change is what you choose. And I feel like that was good, man. That was poetic justice right there. Can't lie to you. Like that was good. I'm about to tell my team that too. Let them know.
Thank you, Kaylee. Who's next? There's only five of us. Like you guys can all share. Eli.
I think what hit me the hardest was, are you trying to do discipline or are you trying to be someone who is disciplined? Hit that just hit because I never really realized the difference between the two before you mentioned it. And it definitely gave me a different perspective on the whole idea of discipline in general.
Yeah, love it. Let's got a couple more. Thank you, Kaylee. I know Lindley says you should share something out loud. Oh, you're muted.
I mean, the biggest ones they just told me. I mean, they just said, like, those were the ones I had highlighted.
Love it.
Their
Awesome.
way.
Mariana and then Brandon, you can't repeat a share.
All right. For me, I put with disciplines when your external wants becomes your internal desires. So like fitness, you want to get fit, you want to do this. Now, you have to. It's not discipline, you don't have to, you get to do it. Okay.
Boom. As said by the Lindley McCutcheon. Love it. And Brandon, last share, close us out.
I don't know. I guess your speech just made me realize, like, because I go to the gym every day, but there's so much other things that I can change, like getting up and like actually starting my day off correctly instead of just going straight to my phone. Sitting down for like another hour, and then also my diet. Like, you can go on a diet for a week, but then on the weekend you can just ruin that whole progress. So it's just about staying consistent and doing just everything right.
Awesome. Love it. All right, let's go out. And guess what? We have accountability buddies for you. Okay. So I want you guys to not only share your goals with us as far as demos in the business go, share your goals with us as far as like your routines, your consistency, your mental health goals too. Okay. We are here as holistic health partners. Okay. And we want you to make some cash and earn some sweet prizes. Okay. It's a pretty cool thing. All right. You guys rock. I love working with all of you. And I'm so excited for what's to come in November. Kaylee, are you staying on this Zoom for your phone jam?
I was just gonna open my other one so you don't have to
Cool.
stay.
Sounds great. Awesome. All right. For anyone that has not booked up the week, hop right over to Kaylee's. We'll toss it in the group me and let's get booked up. Let's start those habits right now. Awesome. Love working with you guys. Talk soon.